Night helm. Okay. Do y'all want to hear a really bad joke? A really bad joke that's like at least like it's like 5 minutes long, and we all saw how much trouble I had explaining asexuality earlier. So like, I'm gonna mess up the joke trying to tell it, but I'm thinking about this joke now. So if you, I think I got it from Tumblr, so you might have seen it already, Cherise. But like, I saw the Squire helm and the Knight helm, and it made me think of this. All right, so once upon a time, it's a joke, but like, I don't know if you've ever read The Longest Joke in the World, but it's like that, but shorter, where it's a whole story with a punchline at the end. All right, so there were these 3 kingdoms, and they were arranged in a triangle. But in the middle of all the kingdoms, there was this land that didn't belong to anybody. And they all wanted it. So they decided to go to war. Now, the first kingdom was really, 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 really rich. So they had like all these fancy knights with all the best like vibranium armor, I guess, whatever. You know, unobtainium. And they had like riches, and every knight had a squire. And the night before the war, listen, leave me alone. Leave me alone. The night before the war, they got like wasted. They had this huge party with all this food and drink because they were rich and they could. The second kingdom. I don't want to be here. You better take me back to the castle. Oh. I'm gonna pause my story to tell you about this story. Journal entry number 3. I have paid my dues and entered the castle proper. That devil Charon has taken all that I own as payment. He has even pilfered my private coffers. I have left my wife and children with nothing. He says it's the price for any and all who hazard the depths of the castle. He says it's fair. It is fair because of all who have entered, none have returned, but I will change that. I will be victorious. There is no greater swordsman than I, even amongst my siblings. Anyway, back to the story. Back to the other story. The second kingdom was well off. They weren't like rich, but they were good, you know. Their knights had pretty decent armor, like pretty decent like chainmail armor, and some of them had squires, not all of them. And the night before the war, they had a party too. And it wasn't as lit as the first kingdom's party, but it was pretty lit. So everybody there got wasted as well. But but the last kingdom, the last kingdom was dirt poor. And they had 1 knight and 1 squire who had like really bad leather armor, and they didn't have much. So the night before the war, blood cape. The night before the war, these guys went out to the woods and they did what they could. They had some rope and a pot and whatever they could find in the woods. So that night, I don't want to do this. No. Wait a minute. Nah, I don't have enough magic for that. That night, I'll tell the story right after I kill this eyeball. Okay. That night, the squire took the rope, tied it into a noose, and hung the pot high from a tree. And they had stew. And that's it. And then the next day, it was the war. But all the knights from the first and second kingdoms, they were way too hungover. They were way too hungover. So they just sent their squires instead. Baby, come back! Wait, he's over there in the corner. Do you see him? No! Wait. I don't have enough magic! I want that chicken. Anyway, let's see what I get from this. Oh, Calypso's compass again. But okay. So the war ended up being all the squires from the first and second kingdoms. And the squire and knight from the last kingdom. And they fought, and it was bloody, and it was sad. I'm bad at this. Wait, no, wait, I have 3 jumps. Maybe I can do this? Haha! Haste room. So by the end of the war, there was only one man left standing. And it was the squire from the third kingdom. So you could say you could say that the squire of the high pot noose was equal to the squires of the other 2 sides. Thank you for the bit. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. It was worth it, and you know it. Have y'all heard the longest joke in the world?